I look at the life of Pastor Nath and some of the stories he said in some of his interviews. How come a man, you are leading a movement that is bringing healing to thousands and millions of people, and yet your wife is sick on the bed? What gave you the audacity to still keep on going every day, every night for that same meeting? Hello and welcome back. This is Gospel Music Spotlight, the platform where we harness the treasures of the music ministry. If this is your very first time joining us, thank you so much for joining. Please, to join this family, you just need to do something later, and that is just to click on your subscribe button and also put on your notification button so you will be the first person to get notification from all our videos anytime or anywhere we drop or post it. And also for those of us who have been coming back, thank you so much for also coming back. Thank you very, very much. Thank you. God bless you. So today we're going to be talking about a general in the music ministry, and that is the person of Pastor Nathaniel Bassey. Pastor Nathaniel Indiana Pastor Bassey was born on the 27th of August 1981 to the family of Mr. and Mrs. Bassey. His father, Mr. Joshua E. Bassey, was a minister in the Apostolic Church, Bashwa Assembly. Pastor Nath received his first prophetic call, or his first prophetic word about his ministry, from a police officer and elder that they call Elder E. This is someone who, he said, according to him, was an illiterate, someone who did not go to school, but somehow the only book that this man could read was the Bible. This man was one of the first persons that he saw raise the dead right in front of his eyes with no drama. Pastor Nath was ordained in 1998 as a pastor. Pastor Nath is, of course, a Nigerian gospel singer, is a music producer, is also the convener of Hallelujah Challenge, which started in June 2017. He is married to Sis Sarah Bassey. They met in 2008 and got married in 2013. And the marriage is blessed with 2 kids. And having said this little or few details about Pastor Nath, let us go into the things that his life and his movement as a music minister in the music ministry has helped a lot of us as music ministers. Now, Pastor Nath is someone who I have studied his life very closely. And one of the things that I've seen about his life that has really, really helped me as a music minister is that he knew what to sacrifice for his call, and he was bold enough to go for it. Now, Pastor Nath was part of a jazz group before he ventured into the music ministry. Even though he was serving in the church workforce, but he was still part of a jazz group where they go out and they play gigs and they get money and all of that. Now, a time came and the band got an admission to the Berkeley University. And of course, you should say that this was a good news, right? But of course, it was a good news. But for Pastor Nath, it was not. Because on a fateful day, his mentor, Pastor Esco, called him and told him that I sense something about you. There's something on you that I don't know what it is. Whenever you play, tears come to my eyes. And Pastor Nath went back to his friends and he joked about it and said, no, he wasn't. The pastor does not want him to travel out. He just joked about it. And now there was a particular time that late Stella Obasanjo was to come to the church, and his mentor, Pastor Esco, gave him a song to score. And then he played the song when late Mrs. Stella was in church. And then he noticed a sudden surge of the presence, and he went back to his pastor. And he told his pastor that I'm ready. That thing that you said that time, now I think I'm ready. I have seen it now and I'm ready to go along with it. So he went to his band members and told them that I know that this Berkeley University is a great opportunity, but I am ready to let it go because of the call of God over my life. Now, this is one thing that we music ministers, we have not learned to do, because we must understand that a time will come in our music ministry that we would have to drop some things for the call, but that we can't carry some things alongside with the call. Because I remember personally, there was a time that I had an opportunity to actually travel abroad to do my master's, but I had to choose between that very, very juicy opportunity and developing myself for the call of God over my life. And of course, I chose to stay here to be pruned, to grow, to be corrected, to serve, and to help my gift and to grow in the calling of God over my life. So Pastor Nath has given us, set a standard as one of those people who did not actually have it funny at the beginning. They had to sacrifice something for the call of God over his life. But based on the trajectory, that Pastor Nath said, it is advisable that we drop whatever it is that is sacrificable for the call, because when we look at his life today, we know that he did not make a mistake. And also, I look at the life of Pastor Nath and some of the stories he said in some of his interviews, where he said specifically that there was a time during the Hallelujah Challenge that he had to shuffle in and out of the hospital. And when he was saying the story, I look at this story and I look at the life of this man. How come a man, you are leading a movement that is bringing healing to thousands and millions of people, and yet your wife is sick on the bed? What gave you the audacity to still keep on going every day, every night for that same meeting? Because he said in that story that whenever he goes back to the hospital, the nurses would thank him and say, Pastor, we were blessed by your ministration. Yet, his wife was a patient in that same hospital. And when I look at this, I came to a conclusion that men like Pastor Nath qualifies, if the Bible were to be rewritten in our days, qualified to be Father Abraham, because he's a man of faith. He had the faith not just to obey, but the faith to also hold on regardless. Because I believe that during this his crisis, that a lot of persons might have told him he should shut down the Hallelujah Challenge, but he kept on going because he obeyed the voice of God. Because he knew that even if God did not do it now, it is not because God cannot do it. It is maybe just because it's not the right time for God to do it. This thing is one of the things that I've learned from his life, that regardless of whatever it is that I go through as a music minister, I must be able to hold on. I must be able to obey and push on regardless, because now we see that the problem is over, but yet the Hallelujah Challenge keeps blessing the lives of thousands and millions of people till today. Also, Pastor Nath is someone that I would say is a prophetic worshiper, is someone that has learned to combine the sound and the prophetic together. I was watching the Koinonia Sound of Revival, and you see that during the ministration of Pastor Nath, when he blew the trumpet, you will see that there was an outbreak of the Spirit. And I told myself, how come a man has been able to master the art of the presence so much that just by using the tool that God has given him, which is the trumpet, there was an outbreak of the presence everywhere. And I came to understand that as a music minister, one of the things that I must develop myself in is the ability to combine the sound and the prophetic. One thing that Pastor Nath have been able to gain mastery in and have been able to do and set a pattern. And I trust that one day that if I meet him physically, I will tell him, thank you, sir, for setting a pattern for many of us to walk in and to gain mastery also in. And now, Pastor Nath, we must also understand that regardless of Pastor Nath being an anointed man, he is a man that found purpose in service and followership. This is one point that when I look at his life, it rings a bell in my mind. In fact, there was a time that a story went out that Apostle Joseph Suleiman said that he invited Pastor Nath to his church, and Pastor Nath declined the offer because he said that the GO had a service that he could not miss. Imagine a man at that level, a man at that pedestal is still giving so much to followership, is still submitting to followership, is still submitting under a man. That means that all his travelings are actually under strict supervision of his leaders and his mentors. And that is how it has always been for him. Because he said in one of his interviews that whilst he was starting out, that people would come and they would bring invites to him. And his late pastor Esco would say that he's not ready for such ministration. A particular part of Pastor Nath's life actually rings a very loud bell in my mind and in my head, because I remember that I was just a choir member before I found myself in working strategically in this line of purpose that I find myself today. I was just a choir member, and the best thing I loved to do about myself was just to lead praise and worship. Until I met a man who called me and said there is more about me, and started putting me through a lot of things. And it did not stop there, because that is not just all there is to mentorship. There are times he will tell me that I am not ready for this. So he will tell me that this time, this is what we are working on. At this stage of your life, this is what we are working on. He told me, he said that I know that you're anointed, but can you give me this part of your life? Let us work on it. Because when we get to that stage, when we get to the sky, we will discover that what makes all the birds in the sky flying on the same pedestal is not just because of the anointing. There's a place of character. There's a lot of things that a mentor and a leader will do. They will prune and they will groom us. And that is why many music ministers today, I believe we are missing it in this part, where many people believe that they want to be independent without a leader. Let us know that God never made anybody independently. We are meant, our lives are the trajectory and the map of our lives have been drawn in the map in the hands of a man. And so it is left for us to find that man and put our head under submission. Because how would you say that a man like Pastor Nath, traveling and getting ministrations from the whites and the blacks, he still respects the place of his mentor, the place of his father in the Lord, Daddy Adeboye, that he could decline an invite from a man of God as powerful, as influential as Apostle Johnson Suleiman. And so, dear music ministers, one of the things that I believe we need to learn and we must put into consideration and start to work in 2026 as music minister is the ability to submit under a mentor. If we are not yet submitting, let us look for someone who God is leading us to and is worthy enough to be submitted to. If we're already submitting, let us take the place of submission more seriously than we have ever taken it. And lastly, as we close this session today, one of the things about Pastor Nath that stands out for me, and I believe has made him a father to many other younger ministers, is that he's a good leader and is a man who knows how to build relationships. He's a man that has given himself to building strategic relationships. Now, in one of his interviews, he told the story of how his keyboardist has been with him for the past 18 years, and his guitarist has been with him for the past 13 to 14 years or so. Yes, 13 to 14 years or so. Now, imagine a man has been with you for the past 18 years. That means that the keyboardist met him as a teenager. How is this man able to sustain that relationship so much? You see, because when many people see a relationship that has lasted, a lot of persons might be quick to congratulate the follower and say it is the follower that is doing the good job, not knowing that also the leader is putting more effort into making sure that this relationship stands. It would have taken a lot of sacrifice. It would have taken a lot of love. It would have taken a lot of communication. It would have taken a lot of times where he's supposed to be with his family. He will be with these people, pruning them, grooming them, and now some of them are married. Some of them have kids. Imagine a man who also has been able to establish a level of friendship with Apostle Joshua Selman and many other ministers like that. In fact, sometimes I think in 2024, 2023, Moses Bliss was thanking Pastor Nath for the contribution he has made in his life. Imagine a younger minister appreciating someone like that. That means that there is a level of relationship that Pastor Nath has with Moses Bliss that many of us, even in this outer world, we don't know. And this is one of the things that I believe many of us music ministers are lacking in, because we believe that all it ends about being a music minister is carrying the mic and singing on the stage. And even me myself, when I saw this, I've been able to retrace my steps and also taught myself to take some strategic relationships very seriously. So I can boldly tell you that there are relationships in my life that has lasted for 13 years, that has lasted for 8 years, that has lasted for 5 years. This is because a man like Pastor Nath has been able to set the pattern and set the pace. So dear music ministers, if you're going to also fly high, we must know that the place of relationships is very, very important. So thank you, dear music minister. Thank you so much for joining us in this edition of Gospel Music Spotlight. Don't forget, as usual, as our tradition, make sure you tag Pastor Nath in the comment section and thank him for being a blessing and example to many music ministers across the whole world. Let's thank him for setting the pace that many of us are now looking at and we are now following. We say thank you so much, Pastor Nath. Thank you so much, sir. We are grateful. So thank you once again for joining us. Do not forget to subscribe and turn on the notification button. Till we meet again, God bless you.